Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23. This is Lions episode number 11. It's the signing period. Let's get straight into it. Down to business. I have 28,000 in existing contracts. We have a budget of 67,000. When you throw in those decimal points, we've got a fair bit to work with. 38,000. 38,000 is a decent amount to sign riders. I only have 3 expiring contracts, so it's only going to take 4 signings to even increase the existing group. I will sign what we can with the budget that we have. I'm not going to go crazy and sign a ton of guys, but I am hoping to sign roughly 6. Now, in terms of the dossiers, let's start with the big signing that I'm looking for, and that is Molebron. Molebron, the points dossier cost went up a lot. He was the first guy that I assigned. We got him into the yellow, that's all, so he's going to come at a bit of a premium, but he's only a 3.5 star with 4.5 star potential. Shouldn't be that bad. I'm hoping to sign him still for under 10K. If we can do that, we are golden. The biggest signing, though, is not him. It's Mason Samuels. 3-star current, 5-star potential, and 100% interest. He's the first one that I'm going to get after. Rutayasir? I'll mull on that one and see. I'll see what we can get. 4.5 star potential, 3-star current, should be able to sign for almost minimum. So I'm excited by that one as well. Those are the big 3, though. After that, it falls off. Now, there are 6 more riders that I do not have open dossiers on, but we'll likely or potentially speak with one of those, as I have 6 guys that had 100% interest already. And as we got down to things, I was able to get everyone other than Molebron to 100%, except the one that I left out because of his cost, which was Tesfatsion. Tesfatsion, a little too good, but not going to develop. He's 4-star and is going to remain 4-star. He would be great, but the 12 points were just too much. I got him in the last period, mid-July, and the only reason why I was able to get him is because we have all those guys at 100% interest already. 3 points each. He's 12. That's 4 of those 6 guys I could still end up going after if I wanted. And I was hoping to see if we could just jump him into the yellow or get some interest to help for next year. I still have never run a proper test to find out whether, if building interest now, you get somebody from 0 up to 30%, do you get some of that next year? Is he a 15% next year because you built some interest for him this year? I don't know. But Tesfatsion, more of a for future. I went ahead and threw him in at the end. But we will not be signing Tesfatsion. So that's out. You can rule him out. But Molebron's that big target. But I'm going to start with Mason Samuels. We're looking at maybe a minimum contract. He's already 3 stars, so we need to do the 3-year deal because he's going to get more expensive within this first year right away. Important rider does not sound good to him, so we can bump him up to a leader, and then we'll see what happens with that minimum contract. Yeah! I like it. Minimum contract signed for 3 years for Mason Samuels. This is what Samuels looks like profile-wise, by the way. He's going to be a 5-star climber. Time trialing will never be great, but he's going to have some very strong climbing and punch ability that's going to put him at a level that we are nowhere near right now. He's already got a 70 mountain, and he's nowhere near his potential. Very different profile for Rutayasir. He's going to be a 5-star time trialist. That's not anything fantastic, but that can help get us to Continental Pro, and he could be somebody who could go out and maybe win some time trials, depending on profile, at a moderate level that could see a boost for Rwanda. So he is very much a worthwhile signing. I'm really hoping to get him on a minimum contract as well, and we do. So with 2 of my 3 primaries going on minimums, just 5K spent of the 38K that we have to spend, that leaves us with 33K. And I'm looking to sign about 6 guys, which means there's 3 more that will go out and likely get on a minimum contract, meaning I'm going to have a good 25K or so still available, and really only one signing to get after, which means the reality, I'm not going to just randomly sign a bunch of dudes just because we have the money to do it. We are growing at a pace that we want and need, and hey, maybe I turn it into 7, but we're not going to go crazy and sign 12 guys. Tesfazian is impossible to sign as he is in the red. Even if I get a 100% contract negotiation with him, there is no chance. We also have a dossier points limit. There's only so many points we have to spend to get after and sign riders. So we can't go crazy. But we can 100% sign Molebron. Here's the thing, though. Molebron's 24. He's already most of the way towards his maximum potential. But he's somebody who will make us better. 71 mountains, 73 medium mountains, 73 hills, 70 flat, 72 acceleration. And he still does have potential, though not a ton, as a puncher, a little bit more as a climber. I'm thinking this is somebody who's going to be about a 77 hills, which, I mean, come on, let's be real. That's not much. That's not much. But it will make us better. Period. Flat out. I'm willing to spend more than the 10K for him. But we're not going to go absurd on this guy. I'm glad we have the money. I'm glad the finances are working out in our favor right now. He's going to be a cheap signing. That's good. We'll take the 3 years because he's going to absolutely be helpful for us. Looks like I only have to go as far as a leader. I don't even have to bother turning him into an absolute leader. Let's see what 3.2K is, though. We will have to overpay, though, because of this. But let's see. We get 4 chances. Okay, not close, but that's 2 areas. You make him happy, and he's going to suddenly, boom. So 4.2. Made him happy, but didn't take care of this one. Any other year, if we get him to 100% eval, the 4.2 would have done it. And he's worth that for us. We get 2 more chances. Let's see what happens at 4.7. I'm not sure if 4.7 is going to do it. I'm not sure 5.2 is going to do it. So actually, you know what? Let's do the 5.2 first and then go from there. Okay, that did it. 5.2 did do it. So we get him signed for 5.2. I think that's well within our range and budget for the time being. It gives us a boost. It gives us a 3rd rider at 3.5 stars. Boosts our index to 40. But here's the thing about boosting the index to 40. 18 World Tour spots. 18 Continental Pro spots means the cutoff is 36. Means we're not making the cutoff, but we're going to be a much better Continental team going forward. We're still not at Continental Pro yet, but you give a guy like Samuels a year or 2 to develop, and suddenly we've got guys not at 3.5, but we've got guys at 4 or 4.5 and pushing towards 5, and then we're talking about Continental Pro. With those 3 signings, here's how the team is looking. We have 3 leaders on the team and 1 sprinter. So Gibbons obviously as a sprinter, Molebron, Kudos, and Samuels as leaders. None of them absolute leaders. That is good for the 3 years coming, because roles will change, profiles will change. Riders will get upset for not being put in leadership roles. But none of them being absolute leaders will help us out. Only having a couple important riders will help us out. We've got more than half the team set up as teammates as is. Now the 3 outgoing guys, it's not going to hurt us losing them. So we're actually, this is all progress. This is making the team better and stronger. We've signed 3 to replace 3, and all 3 are significantly better than what we had. But now it's time to actually start filling out the team a little bit more so that we can compete in a couple of races. But here's the thing. We're still going to be Continental. We're not going to have a very busy calendar. So it's going to be hard to get guys racing days without substantially more races coming in. I should be able to get all of these guys on minimums here the rest of the way, which means we're going to be well under our budget limitations, which is good. It's more money to spend on better staff to help them develop faster, to start pushing us ahead so they can be competitive. We're starting to be competitive as it is. We're finding a little results here and there. We've had a few wins. You know, it's definitely not nothing, but it's minor races. We're going to have to step up to a higher level to start boosting popularity, to start boosting training levels. Hey, we've picked up 1 point so far already in just one season, but we've got a lot of work to do here to continue to progress. But anyway, next target, Bitsimana. Overall, he's not going to be great, just good, but it's something. As a Rwandan, it can help push Rwanda. This is a guy who's actually going to be a bit of an all-around talent. He's got mountain, time trialing, and punch rating all coming. He won't be a great sprinter, so he's not going to have a lot of acceleration to win too many stages, but that combination of mountain, hills, and time trial could win some minor races. Without a great high-end potential, we'll go ahead and sign him to the 3 years and know that when the 3 years are up, he'll re-sign for less than 10K and we'll be able to hang on to him if we want. We're going to try Team 8, see what happens. Not a big fan of the salary, which is silly, but we'll sign him for 3K. That's fine. Here's my first shot in the dark, random, silly signing that I'm going to make. And here's why. Shyam Kaur, 2-star guy, 3-star potential, 4-star climber. This is not a great rider. There's no reason for me to sign this guy. Except one thing. That's not the profile of a winner, but that is the profile of somebody who may win one race at one time, somewhere, somehow, once he's fully developed. And all it's going to take is one, because Senegal is a 1-1 nation. It's a 1 training. It is a 1 popularity nation. Any win at any level from this guy is going to boost that popularity to a 2. Any win at all. That's all it's going to take. And for that climbing and time trialing ability and punch ability, that combination of he's going to be an all-around kind of rider. This guy's going to get 70 pluses. He can win those weakest races with that sort of rating. And for that, we're going to take a shot in the dark and add this guy. Eventually, we're going to be Continental Pro, and we'll have guys assigned to those weaker races. And somewhere, some win, he's going to pull that random odd victory. This is a guy who's going to get 4 career victories, I would think, at the lowest levels. And that all it's going to take is one with a nation such as Senegal. So I'm going to sign this guy. Since I decided I'm going to target 1 extra, I'm going to get 7 overall. I need to make the extra before I make my final decision on the 1 more, being helpful to areas we already exist. One area where we have 0 presence whatsoever is cobble rating. We have no classics riders. I want to start that process of trying to find someone somewhere. There was 2 partial targets for this. This one's a little more well-rounded, meaning he's going to have more than just a cobble rating. He's going to have a slight mountain, a slight punchy rating, slight time trial rating. Somewhere, somehow, that could translate. Also, of the 2, one South African, a country that we have a decent rating for, or Namibia. So Nambahu is our guy because he's going to come from a more minor nation. It's a 3-2 nation, so any win is not going to be an automatic, and he's probably not going to be much of a winner, but maybe he'll have that shock result somewhere, some win, 4-star potential technically, and he signs for a bare minimum. Well, I decided I'm going to extend it to 8 signings, which is going to bring the squad at +5. Now, in future seasons, 8's actually a pretty good number because you have a rotation of about 3-year cycles for most contracts. 8, 16, 24. 24 is a really good number to be at. 8 feels like a little much. However, here's the thing. Right now, sprinting is a difficult prospect, a very difficult prospect, because we have Gibbons, who's got semi-quality, but he's already 29, he's not really progressing, and then you have Arafane to lead him out. And that's it. I desperately need another sprinter. Desperately. I have to sign one. De Villiers has to be that guy. He has Gibbons' potential. He's just 19 and has a ways to go yet. He'll be much better than Arafane, and he can replace Gibbons probably in about 2 years, 3 years time, and will replace Arafane as the lead out guy probably in about a year. Right now he's a 66 sprint, 64 flat, 65 resistance, 62 stamina. He's 69 acceleration even. He'll replace Arafane quite soon, maybe right away. And he's got a lot more potential than what he has right now profile-wise. And so then our last signing, Jamal, Eritrean rider, 5-star punch potential, and actually has the mountain rating just about to go with it. He'll be maybe a point below mountain rating, which means that's some quality. And he'll have a bit of sprint capability. This is a guy who's going to win some stages. Now, as Eritrea is already a little bit higher up, this is not the guy to lead us into the future, but he's going to be a great support rider and capable of getting some wins himself. He'll be, our second or third best option kind of thing. He's not going to have GC hopes, but he can be a pretty big contributor for us. Right now in our scouting, only a single rider is showing up, and this is not the same de Villiers, probably a brother. It's a year younger. Anyway, he's showing up. We would say brothers, so we might have Matthew and Joshua on the team going forward, potentially. 5-star prospect, climber, but he's just shown up as that 5-star, so we're going to scout him to another level, find out a little bit more concrete-wise. Could turn it into 9, but he would definitely be the final signing. That's getting to be a bit much, but man, oh man, our team needed some extra riders and certainly needed some riders with potential, and we're starting to get it. Great news, folks. Our 4.5-star potential guy is actually a 5.5-star climbing potential guy. Yes. Somebody who is going to hit 80 mountain rating exists in Africa. We have found him. Joshua de Villiers. He'll have a good punch rating. He'll have a decent time trial rating. This is not somebody who's going to win a Grand Tour, but this is somebody who is going to be great for Continental Pro level. And even though we're going a little crazy, we had the budget for it. We're going to sign this guy, especially without a development team to store good riders away to sign them later on. You got to do what you got to do to get them signed. $3K, no problem. We'll have $12K left over for staff, which means we are going to take a deficit next season, but I'm not worried about that. Our balance is plenty healthy to afford it. Following the conclusion of the final race of the year, things are locked in. So let's take a look back at the year, beginning with that final race of the year, which was completely irrelevant to us. But with a Tour of Guangxi victory, Cluckers has actually given Luxembourg a boost to their popularity. So another nation has seen a boost. But as for us, our final ranking in the index is 52nd. The cutoff for Continental Pro was 36th. So we are getting to a point where we're going to have a decent Continental team in the coming season, but it's still not good. But it's going to be a lot better than it was, and we could expect to get a few more results along the way. I still think we're at least a year of development before we can properly start expecting to compete well amongst Continental teams. And depending on that development, we could see a jump to Continental Pro, but I don't expect to have that jump just yet. I look back at the final rankings for the year. Pogacar, Van Aert, Martinez are your top 3 individuals. Evenepoel was the world champion this year and gets 4th best in the rankings. Jumbo-Visma on top as usual with 28K. UAE just behind them, and then Ineos in 3rd. The drop-off then becomes more pronounced and severe. And this year we grab the 53rd position. Our index for the coming year is 52nd, meaning the team that we have been this year is the team we'll actually become on paper next year. Hence the prediction that we should be even better than we are now. 667 points. 667 points is up from 270 a year ago. So we more than double not quite triple our total from a year ago. I don't think we're going to double or triple it in the coming year. I think development wise, the guys who are best for us are near their maximum. And so the development's going to come from the bottom end or middle end of the team, which means overall we're not going to suddenly just get significantly better. Our top guy this year was Gibbons, by a single point, by the way, over Gabrayevet. Gabrayevet, that was that key race in July that set that one up to score the majority of his points. Kudos is another guy who's not going to get much better. Zerai, our holdover from the first year, provided some decent points for us. Arafane is never going to get better. Zerai is already just about maxed out now. Johannes Dalek, Ishimwe, those are guys that are going to get better. And Davids and Mansouri are leaving the team, getting replaced by others. But we really had a clear A team. And a couple young guys, those couple young guys will score more points and help us out. But those top guys, there's not much more coming from them. Molebron is going to provide us top-end points, though. So we can expect to score maybe a couple hundred or a few hundred points more in the coming season. Belgium, top nation, Slovenia, France. To get to our nations, you got to get down a ways. South Africa, 28th, 1200. Let's see how we actually do with Africa. This is the greatest find ever, greatest addition to sort by continent in the rankings. Benyam Girmay, top scorer. No surprise there. Menkes, who is, I believe, retiring at the end of this season, so he's going to be out. Jens van Rensburg. Tesfatsien, who we wanted to sign but couldn't quite get. That was the limit of our reach right now, was just about to him. We couldn't quite get him this year. Stefan de Bod, and then our team starts to fall in place. Gibbons, Gabrayevet 6th and 7th out of Africa. Kudos was 10th. Arroya, one of those guys we looked to sign last year but couldn't quite get. And Gabretz Kabir are at the top. Molebron coming in. He was just 12th with 108 points this year, but I think we can, likewise, under our control, get him a little bit higher and get him up around where these guys are at. And then Zerai, Alexander Wilson, without a team, managed to score 70 points at a U23 race. That is one place where I think we could potentially, if we wanted to, target a couple U23 races and go out and dominate and score some points. That's a potential kind of loophole to get some points for a particular nation or a particular young rider who is trying to develop. We could take our 1-1 nation, our Senegal rider, maybe next year, and focus on some U23s where he could maybe succeed, but maybe not for another year or so. There's possibilities to grab some points for key nations in that specific way. But we are the only team in Africa now, and that makes it tough. But Eritrea, number 1 overall, 3,700 points. Girmay, of course, getting the bulk of those, 2,700 of them, almost 2,800 of them. Less than 1,000 going to all other Eritrean riders. South Africa, clear top 2. Rwanda, Algeria, Ethiopia, and Morocco not even managing to score any points this season. That is going to do it for this episode and this season. I'm looking forward to a new season with a lot of prospects now. We had a few. They got some development over the course of the year. Will they emerge as some of our top talents by the end of next season? Will the new talents, including one in particular who's looking pretty dang good, I'd say 2 overall are looking pretty good to be major contributors down the road, will any of those young prospects become leaders by the end of this next season, or are we going to continue to rely on the old guard for the entirety of another year? We'll certainly have to rely on them at the beginning of the year, but their depth has grown. It's gone from a couple guys to a little bit more now. So will we have enough to start making competitive teams? Big questions, big answers coming in the coming season. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.